Hi, I'm Jodie Whittaker, and I'm here to answer some of Big Finish listeners' questions from social media. If 13 took the fam to a restaurant that serves anything in the galaxy, what would she order for them? If Mandip was a method actor, Yaz wouldn't eat anything because Mandip's a really fussy eater. So I would make the fam have a delicious plate of raw oysters. It's one of my favourites. And it's quite a bold choice. And I think it'd be really uniting as a family dish. What's it like voicing the Doctor compared to doing it live action? Do you move your arms around in the voice recording booth? Have you ever seen me be interviewed? I am not a still person. So fidget comes out, whether I'm being filmed or whether it's just my voice. And the best difference is you don't learn your lines. It's an absolute win. But physically, I have been told off about 7 times now for stamping my feet, or when it says running, I actually ran. They were like, no, just do it with your voice. So it requires a lot more discipline than I've got. Scout has asked, what's been your favourite thing to come out of being cast in Doctor Who? Oh, it's such a good question. I've had some lovely things. In no order of importance, but you get to be a part of some incredible things, and being a part of Children in Need, where we got to meet the most beautiful Whovian live on stage, that was incredible. I also, because of the wonderful Sean Dooley, who was an actor who was in Ghost Monument, I was able to sing Yellow and I got to meet Coldplay. That was a winner. Is there anything you changed in regards to how you play the Doctor because of the audio play format? No. I would say what is really fun is the fact that I think particularly 13 for me feels like such a wonderful extension of my actual personality, which is fidgety and playful. And I think that in this format, what's wonderful is all the elements that make the 13th, even though only you guys are hearing the voice, for that to come across, I think you have to bring everything of the Doctor anyway. So I think, physicality, all of those things, but it doesn't really change how you do it. What is amazing is you can have a year's gap, because it's been a whole year since I recorded one, and I still know how to do it. Quite proud of myself, still got the same voice. Hi Jodie, fellow Huddersfieldian. I used to buy my Doctor Who books, magazines and VHS tapes in WH Smith's in Hoods back in the 80s and 90s. Did you ever shop there? The very idea amuses me. Yeah, I used to go in WH Smith's in Huddersfield. I love stationery. So anywhere as a kid where I could get a highlighter. And I loved it when Tipex came out. I'm sure it's very bad for the world, but when Tipex first came out, I found that hours of fun going through all your work and then realising you could just erase it with a big bit of paint. What's the 13th Doctor's go-to karaoke song? Okay, I'll have to think about the 13th. I can tell you what mine is. My go-to song is We Found Love by Calvin Harris and Rihanna, because it has a dance interlude in it where I can have a bit of a rave, as well as sing really out of key. But I think the 13th would be I'm Walking on Sunshine, something like that, I think. Very joyous. Which classic Doctor Who monster/villain would you love to have the 13th Doctor to face off against that she never got to face on screen? Well, I had a slight version of it because we did an arachnid episode, but I think I'd quite like to face off some more giant spiders, but just in a different iteration. But you're challenging me there when you asked me about classic, because my memory's not that great, but also I was really lucky. I had loads of classic monsters, but I think I would like to go against some giant spiders because I'm really brave when it comes to a spider. If you could do a sequel story of any story from your era, what would it be? What a great question. I would love to go find the little bloody pating and see how much destruction they'd cause, because they were the cutest little thing, but really quite irritating if you're flying through space in something metal. So I'd like to go have another episode and story with a pating. I have cosplayed 13th Doctor, thank you, across 10 Comic Cons in past few years. Jodie's my favourite Doctor. What do you think of boys wearing your outfit? I absolutely adore the fact that my outfit and costume is comfortable for anyone who puts it on. Age, height, gender identity, it is like a second skin to anyone who chooses to wear it, and I absolutely adore that, which is why I loved wearing it. If Given the option, like Shooty, what sort of costumes would you have gone for in addition to your iconic main outfit? And that was the first thing I said to Shooty. I was like, you've got so many amazing costumes. I did manage to squeeze in quite a few that I loved. I loved my fuchsia pink prison jumpsuit. I'm a fan of a jumpsuit. What was difficult when me and Ray Holman, the designer, when I was kind of coming up with ideas, was I realised I was trying to kind of put my things I like to wear into the costume. And actually what Ray was very good at was the separation, because really what you don't want to do is dress as yourself, but it's quite tempting to want to go, oh, can I wear something like that because I love it? And actually what's better is to develop something completely new or design something completely new. But I never get bored of a jumpsuit. So any version of a jumpsuit in there I'd have loved. Was it easy to slip back into being the Doctor without the costume, the hair, and all that goes into the production process that takes place with cameras? So when we first started doing these about a year ago, I met, me and Mandip were doing the same. We're here together. Unfortunately, she's not here now because she's busy working. And I got into the booth and I was like, I've forgotten how to do it. And then the minute you just start speaking as the Doctor, it all totally flows back in. But I have to make sure I'm wearing kind of like ankle boot trainers. That's my one thing that I'm trying to carry over, even though mine were very specific boots. I just need to feel slightly like my footwear's a bit similar, and then it all slips back into place. Would you like to do a story with the famous River song played by Alex Kingston on audio at some point? I know we would all love 13 and River to finally meet. Well, 13 and River in real life have absolutely met, and I would bloody love to work with Alex because we've hung out at Comic-Con and I have never laughed so much in my life. She's absolutely amazing and is just a joy to be around. So I would love that to be in a professional capacity as well. Well, the Comic-Con is professional, lots of fun. Is there anything you've learned about yourself from playing 13 that you now carry with you in your everyday life or in the roles you played since being on Doctor Who? Such a good question. I think one of the things that I really loved, particularly about Chris Chibnall's writing for me, was his ability to kind of turn a sadness into a hopeful, positive or a learned experience. So I have a lovely conversation in my first episode with Yaz and Ryan, and talking about the people that you've left behind and that you carry them with you. And you make them a part of who you are every day. And I think that that's a really beautiful sentiment. And another one that I loved was travel, hopefully. So I think I've carried that through life. You went head-to-head with the Sea Devils, which was epic. Was there another significant monster, villain, from classic or new Who you would have loved to face, either by episode or maybe an idea for the future audio adventures? Do you know what? I always felt I love my master. Sasha is incredible, but I would have loved to have gone head-to-head with Missy. I think that would have been epic. Thank you so much for your amazing questions. Keep listening to Big Finish with the 13th Doctor.